Hello to you from the capital of Korea on the last match day of the AFC Champions League Elite group stage, in where FC Seoul have to beat Sanfrecce Hiroshima to be sure of confirming qualification for the last 16. A draw or defeat may still not hurt them, but then qualifying depends on results elsewhere. Sanfrecce, third place at the moment, they're already through. So the pressure is off for them. Tonight is all about the six-time K-League winners and two-time finalists in this competition and their bid to make the knockout stages of an Asian continental competition for the first time in a decade. Cold night in the Korean capital. FC Seoul have only won twice in their 7 matches in the group so far, and not at home since last September. So a huge improvement is needed, but working against them is the fact that their own domestic league hasn't kicked off yet, and Kim Ki-dong's team were beaten last week by Vissel Kobe when this competition resumed after its winter break. By contrast, Sanfrecce's 4 wins, 2 draws and 14 points have ensured the pressure is off for them tonight. Sanfrecce made sure of their place in the last 16 by beating Johor Darul Ta'zim last week, thanks to a brace from Akito Suzuki, who is the new superstar for Sanfrecce and starts again tonight. Well, we've had a change of a stadium, some beautiful drone shots over the Korean capital here and the Mokdong Stadium. FC Seoul were concerned about the state of the pitch at the Seoul World Cup Stadium, which is their home. So tonight's match switched across the Han River at the slightly smaller Mokdong, and which holds around 15,000 spectators. Home of Korean second-tier side Seoul Eland, and now temporarily to the third most successful K1 side, FC Seoul, whose 6 national titles is 1 behind Seongnam, 4 behind Jeonbuk Hyundai Motors' national record of 10 championships. This year, though, marks 10 years since the last time FC Seoul were crowned champions of Korea. Sanfrecce were 4th in J1 last year. Akito Suzuki has been the star of their hugely impressive start to 2026. The Hiroshima club have won both matches played in the J1 100-year Vision League under their new German coach, exceeding expectations since swapping Michael Skibber for Bartosz Gól in the off-season. And there was then that victory over Johor Darul Ta'zim in between the 3-1 victories over Viva and Nagasaki and Fajano Okayama domestically, which has suggested that they are a force to be reckoned with on multiple fronts in 2026. We shall see. There was the suggestion that Bartosz Gól might have rung the changes, of course, with Sanfrecce Hiroshima already through, but it's still a strong team, a pretty much first team he's put out here, with the exception of 1 or 2 defenders. There have been changes for FC Seoul, notably up front, but more of that in a moment. Close to freezing out there. FC Seoul need to bring the energy, though, to be absolutely sure of qualifying. They are there in the last 16 draw right now, but there are still various qualifying issues to be tied up in the East Zone group. And even if they do lose tonight, they might still finish inside the top 8, but then, of course, they find themselves sweating on results elsewhere and other teams losing. Not a position you want to be in. Out come our teams, FC Seoul and Sanfrecce Hiroshima. They're meeting for the 5th time in the AFC Champions League, the first time in a decade. In 2014 and 2016, these two met in the group stage in the old format, producing a 4-1 win for FC Seoul in the 2014 meeting at the Seoul World Cup Stadium. The 2016 match finished 2-2. This is the first time FC Seoul have entertained a Japanese team since 2017's 4-1 win over Urawa Reds. Sanfrecce are visiting Korea for the 2nd time in this season's competition. They were beaten at Ulsan HD on matchday 3 back in October. Good to go then. This one of 6 matches that are being played across the day, across Asia, as the AFC Champions League preliminary group stage winds down. Thrills and spills are guaranteed. 4 changes for FC Seoul tonight. At the back, Park Seung-hoon replaces Hwon Ross as Lee Han-do has a new central defensive partner. Lee Seung-mo replaces Son Jong-bom in central midfield. And there's an entirely new forward line. Cho Young-wook and Patrick Klimala, who both came off the bench in Kobe last week, start tonight, a first start in the AFC Champions League Elite, incidentally, for both of those players. The officials tonight are from Saudi Arabia, led by referee Khalid Al-Tarais, who's a FIFA official. He refereed at the Under-20 World Cup last year and took charge of Korea versus Japan on matchday 5 of this competition too. That was a win for Machida Zelvia at Gangwon. 4 changes for Sanfrecce Hiroshima also tonight, with the regular backline of Kim, Yamasaki and Shiatani rested. And now to Arai, Hayato, Araki and Daiki Suga come in. Expect Shunki Higashi to drop back on the left to accommodate Suga. Mitsuki Kato is the 4th change for Motaki Ohara, behind Akito Suzuki, who's made a big impact since joining from Shonan Bellmare in the off-season. A brace of goals against Johor Darul Tazim last week confirmed Hiroshima's progress in this competition. FC Seoul have to produce. There can be no excuses. And for a city of this size and stature, they have to be putting teams into the latter stages of the continental competition, surely. Here we go. FC Seoul in the red and black, seeking out the win. They need to be sure of playing AFC knockout football for the first time in 10 years. Sanfrecce Hiroshima are already in the last 16 draw, along with the fellow countrymen from Vissel Kobe and Machida Zelvia. The onus is on the Koreans to come out and attack tonight and get rid of the ring rustiness that perhaps plagued last week's performance in Kobe, when they were beaten by Japanese opposition against Vissel Kobe. Lost 2-0. Kim Gi-dong won the AFC Champions League as a player with Pohang Steelers back in 2009. He later coached the club to a Korean FA Cup win and is starting his third year in charge of FC Seoul. It would be safe to say that Sanfrecce have gambled on Bartosz Gól as Mikel Skiba's replacement. This is only the 37-year-old Polish-born German's second senior outright coaching role and his first for 3 years. But he's hit the ground running in Hiroshima. They played 3-1-3 for Sanfrecce with the new coach installed. That last victory against Fagiano Okayama in the J1 100-year Vision League was achieved on penalty kicks. This interim league before J1 moves to an autumn-spring schedule in August of this year is arranged so teams don't draw. If it's all square after 90 minutes, straight to penalties. That's how Sanfrecce got past Fagiano Okayama at the weekend, won 5-4 on spot kicks after a 1-1. Rio Germain scored their goal. He starts as part of the pair supporting Akito Suzuki. 3-4-2-1 is how Hiroshima arranged themselves. More traditional 4-4-2 with FC Seoul. Strong start, confident start, absolutely vital for FC Seoul. There he is, Rio Germain, former Jubilo Iwata player. Second year with Sanfrecce. Patrick Klimala, the 27-year-old Pole, gets a start here. Actually began the current AFC season playing AFC Champions League 2 for Sydney FC. Attempting a cross in from Lee Seung-mo. Too close though to Kazuki Osako. Klimala, definitely part of the journeyman tradition. Joined Seoul midway through the 2025 campaign from Sydney FC. Got to the semi-finals of AFC Champions League 2 with Sydney in season 24-25. They were beaten by the Lion City Sailors in the end. Keen to make an impact. Only scored the 1 goal for FC Seoul. That's given away. Germain well slotted across, and a terrific chance not taken there by Suzuki for Hiroshima to take the lead here inside 5 minutes in Seoul. The home side, they're playing themselves into trouble. Absolutely no pressure on Babac there. The toe end in from Kato, set up Germain, who switched it across to Akito Suzuki. Good save from Gu Sung-yeon, who's an off-season signing. It's a really good early contribution there from the 31-year-old keeper. But Hrvoje Babic, the Croatian midfielder, caught napping. Ended up sort of lunging into that backwards pass, didn't he? Which gave the ball clean to Rio Germain on a platter. It's unselfish from Jermaine to just switch it. It's a scare for Seoul. Lee Xingmo to Young Xing-won. Always going to be at a disadvantage, teams in FC Seoul situation. They haven't started their domestic league campaign. Once again, FC Seoul lose the ball in the middle of the park. It's up to Rio Jermaine to be Kim Jin-soo, who was dispossessed there. The FC Seoul captain. That's Lee Han-do. And Park Seung-hoon, who are the new defensive partnership here, with Choi on the right and Kim on the left. Hiroshima with the better of the early moments here. So Arai, wearing 13, instructing where this is to be delivered by the looks of things. There's the movement, plenty of white shirts in the box here. A little flick on to Suzuki near post. That needs to be cleared, and is. Useful cross there by Suga, who's going to be a creative presence for Sanfrecce Hiroshima here. Daiki Suga, certainly recognisable. Those luminous boots on the left-hand side for Bartosz Gul's team. Interesting career. His only previous senior coaching role was with Górnik Zabrze, country of his birth. Most recently been an assistant at Red Bull Leipzig. Sanfrecce Hiroshima have this corner. Very deliberately clipped deep there to Igashio. Made a real meal of that, and FC Seoul has stolen the ball away. A chance for a counter-attack here. Oh, lunging challenge, and they're going to claim a penalty. It's been given. Kawabe was forced into that last-ditch challenge. It was all their own fault, really, Sanfrecce Hiroshima, with a mess they made of that corner. And the counter-attack was on from the moment Song Min Kyu was able to charge. And then the little ball through. Obvious foul. And Cho Young-woo with that dart. Penalty. And a wonderful chance here for FC Seoul to get their qualifying hopes as sealed and signed and delivered. Patrick Klimala hasn't scored in AFC Champions League Elite for FC Seoul. Should he convert this penalty, it would be a crucial moment on the journey through. That's the intention, that's the hope. It's Klimala for FC Seoul, tucked home beautifully. First ever start in this competition for the Pole. And he marks it with a goal inside 10 minutes. It's Patrick Klimala for FC Seoul. The perfect start they were looking for. It weathered some early pressure as well from Sanfrecce Hiroshima. A mistake at the other end nearly gifted their Japanese visitors a goal. But when Hiroshima lost the ball high at the pitch, FC Seoul made the absolute most of it. Kawabe with the lunging challenge, conceded the penalty, scored by Patrick Klimala. Away he goes to salute the fans as well. Well, the fans enjoyed it, and I think Klimala did too as well. Well, both he and Cho Young-wook came off the bench in Kobe last week. They had Anderson Oliveira and Leonardo Ruiz as the strike partnership. On match day 7, it's FC Seoul. They have struggled for the goals in this group. They're finding the solution. It's needed most. Choi Jun just clips the ball over the top there. That's got to be dealt with by Araki. Keeper stayed on his line there. Osako. Quick free kick taken by Kawabe for Naoto Arai. Nakano, the right-sided wing-back for Hiroshima. Kawabe. Seems to be a feature of Japanese top-flight teams, possession-based, all very technical, all very intricate. Suzuki was the target with Araki's ball over the top. That's Jermaine who nudges it through again. Suzuki clipping it across that time for Kaito. Anyone in the box there for Hiroshima. That's a clever little ball through for Suga, who tucks it back, and Matsumoto rolls it just wide. Clever move, precise. It almost came off as well. Well, the coach will applaud the intention and the thinking behind this. It's a delightful set of passes that carve out the chance for Taishi Matsumoto. But he can't steer it inside the far post. Just back with Hiroshima after a year with Haruo Reds in 2025. Taishi Matsumoto played Club World Cup last summer. The Reds failed to make an impact. Diagonal, which drifts away from shooter Nakano. So Klimala actually got a winner's medal in the Scottish Cup, had a couple of years with Celtic. A spell there that was complicated by COVID. 1920 and 2021 seasons, made 3 starts in the SPL, did Klimala. Was on the bench in the Scottish Cup final in 2020 when Celtic beat Hearts. Former Young Player of the Year in the Ekstraklasse. It's a layoff by Klimala. Coach Kim will be keenly looking at the potential partnership Patrick Klimala and Cho Young-wook are able to form. It's Rio Jermaine who wins the throw-in at the other end. Nakano will take the throw. delivery, that, I'm afraid. Easily cut out by Sung Min Kyu. Quick breakaway. Intention again. Suga tidying him up. They get back in shape. Six matches across the course of the day. AFC Seoul Sanfrecce here. Matchday Zelfia against Chengdu Rongcheng. Kicked off at the same time. In the Tokyo outskirts, Matchday Zelfia are located. Problem here for Mitsuki Kaito, maybe. Johor Darul Tazim against Vissel Kobe, and Buriram United against Shanghai Shenhua. A kick-off simultaneously a little bit later. Al Harafa tracked Al Saad against Al Ittihad in the western zone. Kick-off at the same time a little later still. One or two qualifying issues still to be tied up in the western zone. Al Harafa can still leap up into a qualifying spot from 10th. FC Seoul came in 9 points from 7 matches played. 6th in the table. Johor Darul Tazim, point back. Gangwon, point back. And Ulsan just beneath the cut line, also only a point back, but only on goal difference. That's why victory was essential for FC Seoul tonight. Suga with the throw. No messing around from Lee Seung-mo. Out for the corner. He's come into the middle of the midfield to replace the 18-year-old who was handed a debut last week in Kobe, Sun Jung-bom. Nato Arai here to take this corner for Sanfrecce Hiroshima. Corner into the near post. Oh, great reflexes there from Gu Seung-yeon. Well, some excellent saves. A couple now from Gu, the new stopper for FC Seoul inside the first 20 minutes. Well, it was to keep out an attempt by one of his own players. Crazy connection here is Babbage, isn't it? Yeah, who inexplicably nods that towards his own net. Super reaction save once again. Ball into the middle of the penalty area this time. A shot from Jermaine was blocked. Hiroshima will keep the pressure on here. Is he getting a communication now, the referee? So it seems. So Khalid El Tarais, assisted by Abdullah Al Sheri and Sami El Jurais, also from the Saudi in the VAR booth. Nothing doing. No further communication needed. On we go. Be a relief to FC Seoul. Now Dot Arai to take this free kick. Horrible connection. Suga ties it up. Osako on his way to the World Cup finals with Japan this summer. Osako. Pressure there on Babic. Thank you for that pass into him by Babic. Croatian midfielder for FC Seoul. Stifled it, Hiroshima, and won the ball back. Jermaine. Well, Jermaine does well there. They managed to combine well in the circumstances there with Shuta Nakano. Sanfrecce with the throw. Real heft on that. Gu was able to claim it. He played a good deal in Japan, did Gu Sung-yun. Consadole Sapporo and Kyoto Sanga won J2 in 2016 with Sapporo. Still proving at 31, they can pull off saves at the highest level. We're past the midway marker in the first half here at the Mokdong Stadium. FC Seoul 1, Sanfrecce Hiroshima 0. So that is good enough to book FC Seoul's qualification in the last 16 draw. Some lean years in terms of the continental participation. Back in the AFC Champions League Elite. Last time they made it, 2020, didn't get past the group stage. Two-time runners-up in this competition, FC Seoul, but it's a while since their glory days. Nudge over the top. Limala was denied at the last. Looking for just a little burst of attacking energy there. It's Sanfrecce Hiroshima dominating the ball in the first half here. And they need to be very precious and economical with their opportunities at attacking to FC Seoul. Just wouldn't come down quickly enough. Kawabe able to shoo the ball away from the danger zone. Here's Higashi. Lee Seung-mo. Vision, Jong Seung-won here. Shinks his way in field, that's nicely worked. Here's Choi Jun up from right back, and Jun hoists the ball across. Will elect to take the throw. Third year with FC Seoul's played every minute of the campaign in Asia this year as Choi. There's Lee Seung-mo. It's an awkward one to deal with and has to be put behind. Song Min-kyu stationed himself beyond the back post there. That had to be put away though and dealt with, and was in the end. A little bit of pressure from FC Seoul, a little bit of possession. Afforded a bit more time on the ball in the Sanfrecce half here. Swinging corner! Oh, it's forced in! How did that happen? Sanfrecce Hiroshima caught cold on the near post, and it is 2-0 FC Seoul. It's a real scramble there. They didn't realise that corner was in swinging until it was too late, the visitors from Japan. That's what it means to FC Seoul. Qualification being booked right here, right now. It's the in-swinger. Oh, yeah, it's headed into his own net by Naoto Arai. Might feel that he was being fouled. He wasn't though, was he? And you look at Osako's reaction there, the Hiroshima keeper. I would have dealt with it, he says. Doesn't know where that came from. Arai's plunging header and an own goal. That means FC Seoul double their money. 2-0. There's no doubt that Hiroshima have had more of the ball, dominated possession in the first half, but they're 2 down. A horrible defensive moment for them. No one even challenging that on the near post, and no excuse really for Arai to do that. How do Hiroshima respond now, and how much do they commit? Big shoes to fill. The Baltic goal, Michael Skibber, so popular in his 4 years at Hiroshima that they've elected to install a plaque at the Peace Wing Stadium to commemorate his time with the club. They were the nearly men in cup competition, Sanfrecce Hiroshima, until Skibber took over. J-League Cup twice, 2022 and last year, and the Super Cup as well in 2025. Having lost all cup finals they previously played. They'll be fighting under a new coach later on in this competition, but being put in the rear view mirror here in Seoul tonight, Sanfrecce Hiroshima. Free kick. There's the movement. Again, not a terribly good ball in. Doki Suga gets to the loose ball first. It's put behind. The free kick turns into a corner for Sanfrecce. In 8 years up in Hokkaido with Consadole Sapporo did Daiki Suga. Last year was his first with Sanfrecce. It's a decent ball in. Again, they've dealt with it just about, FC Seoul. The second ball needs to be cleared. In the end, no worries for Gu Seung-yeon. Here's Jong. Sing-mo. And Suga penalised for the foul on Lee Seung-mo. Slight edge to his game, Daiki Suga. Sort of a high energy winger, really. But does his bit of tracking back as well. Just the poise required there, though. Connections being missed, particularly from set-piece situations, not once but twice there. First with a free kick, it wasn't well clear, then Hrvoje Babic just scuffs his effort entirely. In 2009, when he was part of the Pohang Steelers squad, didn't play in the final, and they beat Al Ittihad. Kim Gi-dong, the FC Seoul coach. Al Ittihad were one of the teams that beat FC Seoul, and one of their two appearances in the final, 2001, 2002, all Korean final in this competition. Cho Young-wook runs in behind. Kept it going. Try and cut infield. Slice behind by Shuta Nakano. A little bit nervy defensively. Remember, it is a new back line for Sanfrecce Hiroshima tonight. Kim Ji-sung, so Yamasaki and Shiotani, a regular back three. Started all three matches this season, but all three rotated out tonight, and Bartosz Gül is getting exactly the answer that he was looking for. Can they cope without him? The answer right now is no. Choi-jun requires a further bit of attention. Now then, are they able to learn their lesson? Sanfrecce Hiroshima, having conceded from the in-swinging near-post corner. Wow. Extra reinforcements in the form of Rio Jermaine. Latest FC Seoul corner. Try a different tactic this time. Oh, still there's an FC Seoul head on it, and still there's a problem posed by the set piece. Song Min-kyu nodded it back and up and over, and far post area left undefended. Close to number 3 for FC Seoul. Called Anyang LG Cheetahs in the early 2000s when they lost the 01-02 AFC Champions League final to the fellow Korean team The Seoul Samsung Blue Wings, back in the final in 2013. A two-legged affair by then, drew 2-2 against Guangzhou Evergrande at the Seoul World Cup Stadium. Then it was a 1-1 draw in China. Guangzhou won on away goals ultimately. Guangzhou team coached by Marcello Lippi. China had their moment in the sun in this competition. But qualification has been difficult for them in recent years, let alone getting to the latter stages. Sixth last year, FC Seoul fourth, 2024, seventh, 2023, ninth and seventh before that. Last qualified outright in 2019 because they finished third in the K-League. Last time they won the K-League, 2016. They've won the domestic title 6 times. First coming in 1985. Last time they survived a group stage in continental competition. Actually got to the semi-finals in 2016. Jermaine. Higashi. Again, possession is given up. Babic slides in, well done. Feeds Klimala, who tries to play it clean up to Song Min Kyu. Kim, the captain, up from left back. Nakano does well. That's dealt with tidily. Suga could be a target here. Makes the run forward on the left-hand side. But it comes to Higashi. Matsumoto. This match would have had an entirely different complexion had Matsumoto tucked home his chance within the opening 10 minutes. Kawabe tries to slot it through to Suzuki, who hasn't had a knock-in since he had a really good chance early on as well. Klimala, the give and go there. Oh, it might still roll through, not quite. Choi Jun was well forward as well, supporting the attacking two there from right back. There's Nakano. Jermaine, he does really well there. He's got options. It's Ryo Jermaine. Could have slipped that to Mitsuki Kato there. Nakano, Matsumoto, Kawabe, Higashi, Suga. Go there with Higashi. Going to get the free kick here. Some clear obstruction there on Daiki Suga. Yellow card at the ready here for the Sinmo. too many complaints about that. He was booked in the Shanghai Port match last November. They won by 3-1. Kevin Muscat's Shanghai Port. Chance to get one back before the break here for Sanfrecce Hiroshima. There's the free kick. Curling in towards Gu Sung-yun. Tried to fool everyone there. Arai going for broke. Corner. Ball in, drops kindly there for Jong Seung-won. Achille Selvia, a 2-1 up on Chengdu Rongcheng. Chengdu with an outside chance of qualifying at the start of the last match day. Not if it stays like that. Araki, clever ball through. Oh, good covering. No messing around there, Sanfrecce Hiroshima. From back to front in the blink of an eye, and they've got a corner out of it as well. It's a really sweet pass through there. Mitsuki Kato had run into the gap, tried to switch it. Just wondering if they're pondering switching it up at a half-time. Bartosz Gól and company. Glances off the head of Araki, who was well protected. So, we go from the opposite side with Naoto Arai now. Hold your horses, says a Saudi referee. Arai gets the green light. There's the delivery. Away, Suga! Blocked. Araki tries to shut down. Clearance from Klimala. So pressure to end the half here for Sanfrecce Hiroshima. Big throw again, straightforward enough for the goalkeeper. Tallest player on the pitch, the Gu Sung-yun, thrust forward by Choi Jun, direct FC Seoul. And no doubting that they're hunting for another goal. It's to turn the screw on their opponents tonight, who do look vulnerable defensively. There's Suga. Suzuki didn't read it. Choi with Lee Han-do. Lee Seung-mo. We're going to have 2 minutes at the end of the first half. It's been a pretty free-flowing half, in fairness, as befitting a high-stakes encounter. FC Seoul really had to commit to the energy of the occasion. It's so far so good, absolutely, for the K-League side right now. Suga, a chance to cross, skewers it a bit. FC Seoul unbeaten in their last 5 home games in this competition, 4 straight clean sheets before the 1-1 draw against Melbourne City in their most recent match. He'll be in no rush to get to his feet. It'll give them a massive boost at start the new K-League season at the beginning of next month. FC Seoul, certainly with an answer to their goal-scoring problems, which Klimala may well have provided here. Be an opportunity to see how the free kick situation turns out for FC Seoul. Jong Seung-won with the ball forward, dealt with by Nakano, only as far as Babic. There we go, half-time here in the Korean capital, and FC Seoul are on course to qualify for the last 16 of the AFC Champions League Elite. They needed a win here, they are heading for a win. Patrick Klimala's 10th minute penalty, added to by Naoto Arai's inexplicable own goal in the 27th minute. FC Seoul are in the process here of ensuring a top 8 finish and progression in Asia's top club competition. FC Seoul 2, Sanfrecce Hiroshima 0 at half-time. The players are back out on the pitch then ahead of the second half at the Mokdong Stadium. FC Seoul will be in protection mode, I'm quite sure, of this lead that is sort of ushering them, gently shepherding them through the gates to the knockout stage of this competition. Something they've not enjoyed for 10 years, but here they are. A couple of goals in the first half, couple of big saves as well from Gu Sung-yun. Has given them a bit of breathing space here. Don't do anything silly, just see this one through. Unsurprisingly, there is a change at the break. This is Taichi Yamasaki coming in for Sanfrecce Hiroshima. He's the first choice centre half, if you will, and comes in for the second half. He's at the base of the midfield, or at least that's where he started, Yamasaki, but in the middle of the three. And the system implemented by Michael Skibber, in which Bartosz Góral has taken on. Second half starts here at the Mokdong. Sanfrecce Hiroshima chasing it. FC Seoul protecting it. 2 goals up and safely through at this stage. Will there be a go for broke attitude for Hiroshima all through already? Nothing to lose really I feel sure we'll see multiple changes during the course of this second 45. So through with a game to spare, and in the already rarefied air of knockout stages in the top club competition in Asia for Sanfrecce Hiroshima. Twice been in the round of 16 before, but never further than the last 16 of this competition. Qualified in 2014, survived the group stage, beaten on away goals by Western Sydney Wanderers. 2019, much the same outcome when they met Kashima Antlers, or Japan clashed that. Got to the quarter-finals of the Champions League 2 competition last season, where they were beaten by Lion City Sailors, the shock team of the second-tier competition in Asia, in 24-25. And a problem at the start of the second half. If you're just joining us, wherever you are, welcome. Patrick Klimala scored a penalty in the 10th minute, his first goal in the AFC Champions League Elite. Only a second for FC Seoul, full stop. And then Naoto Arai headed into his own net in the 27th minute, reminding us that Hiroshima looked vulnerable without their first choice back three starting. Kim Gi-dong, he's 54, third year in charge of FC Seoul. For the former international, won a couple of caps, mid-90s, didn't quite make the cut for the 1998 FIFA World Cup squad. We're able to resume. This is Lee Seung-mo. Arai, the scorer of the own goal, remains on the pitch. It's Hayato Araki that's been withdrawn for Yamasaki. Sota Nakamura and Shun Ayukawa are options as well going forward. Likewise, Kasuke Kinoshita, the Kashiwa Reysol player, who seems to be the sort of first choice foil for Akito Suzuki. If they continue to chase goals and attacking impact in the course of this second half, Sanfrecce Hiroshima, who won 3 titles in 4 years in Japan, 2012, 13 and 15. Runners-up both the Emperor's Cup and J-League Cup in that time. Third in the FIFA Club World Cup, all under Hajime Moriyasu. Building that reputation that led to him becoming the Japan national team manager, where he's been since 2018. He then went through 3 coaches before Michael Skibber took over. Won 3 cups in that time. They'd lost all 7 cup finals in the Emperor's Cup and J-League Cup, in which they'd appeared until the 2022 J-League Cup win over Cerezo Osaka under Michael Skibber in his first year in charge. Klimala looking dangerous again. A good block that by Yamasaki. There might be room here for Rio Jaman if the passing's pinpoint enough, which it is. Rio Jaman able to hold it up. He's still going. It's Rio Jaman, and then by By the time he'd sort of nudged his way into the penalty area, the three red and black shirts heading him off. And a foul on Jong Sing-won. Jermaine, useful at holding the ball up. And he thought that was the moment he could slip it to Hayo Kawabe. He's raced up to support him. AFC Seoul playing it out from the back. Good ball that to Song Min-kyu, takes it down on a sixpence as well. Song, that's for reinforcements, coming from the captain Kim Jin-soo. Song Min-kyu, through Lee Han-do, Voya Babic, matched on by Choi. Pressed backwards towards their own goal here, FC Seoul, but managed to win the throw. Clipped off now to Arai. Babic. There's Jermaine bouncing a little awkwardly. Seoul who take control of the situation. That's Lee. There's Kim. They wanted the advantage to be played there. Kim Jin-soo was in space and had possession of the ball, the captain. Back in field we go to respect the free kick. Kim takes the free kick. Comes short, his Song Min-kyu tries to pick out a colleague on the back post. Headed away from in front of Lee Han-do. Nicely done by Shunki Higashi. Gives it clean away. Picked up by Choi Young-wook. Babic. For Choi Jun. Big swing there into Song Min-kyu. Kim Jin-soo back for Babic. One of the new faces of Voya Babic this year for FC Seoul, wearing 6. Calmer presence now. He gave the ball away, didn't he, for that very early chance. Rakito Suzuki. There's 2 really good chances before Klimala's penalty in the 10th minute. Suga, he swings it up. Suzuki, difficult for him to produce any impact tonight, Akito Suzuki, but he's taken that quickly. And then it's on for Rio Jimen. It was taken a little bit too snappily for the Saudi referee's liking. Daiki Suga will bend this in with his left foot for Sanfrecce Hiroshima. well, the quality of the set pieces tonight have not been good from either side, generally speaking. To be honest, the defending hasn't been on point either, has it? Think back to Naoto Arai's attempts to clear that corner, which he ended up heading into his own net. So Sota Nakamura and Kazuke Kinoshita are coming on here. This is to pep up the Sanfrecce, the forward line. Kato and Jermaine and Suzuki, between them, have gone seriously off the boil since the opening 10 minutes. Be the opportunity to make a couple of these changes. In just a minute or two. Kinoshita will have a little bit more of a physical presence, I think, for Sanfrecce. Much travelled and a lot of experience in those legs, Kazuke Kinoshita. Oh, lovely first touch that by Song Min Kyu. He's in behind. It's Song here for FC Seoul, still going. Tried to bite off a little too much there, Hrvoje Babic. Keeps it going. This moment might have passed them by now. Klimala keeps it there just about. There's Kim. Get any elevation on that ball through, and then Jermaine can try and work it. No, given away again. Babic. Song dealt with that time by Hiroshima. Nakano swings it forward. Suzuki, well played. Clipped through. There's a lot of work for Matsumoto to do here. He draws that challenge from Lee Han-do. Well, the goal kick has been given. Matsumoto can't believe it. And now we have these two attack-minded changes. Yeah, so that's Sota Nakamura for Hayao Kawabe. To begin with, then he transfers the captain's armband. Nakamura, the 23-year-old striker, 6 goals last season. And Matsuki Kato is the other player replaced by Kazuke Kinoshita, the 31-year-old striker. Kinoshita has played in Sweden, Germany and Norway down the years. Shuto Nakano to take this throw here for Sanfrecce. Nudge near post. Oh, good, just about grabs it on the line. Well, that is a weapon with Shuto Nakano's throw-ins from this right-hand side. There we go, it's only half away. sneaking through for the attempt, almost on the half volley there. Seemed to be Agashi drifting into space. The goalkeeper scrambled that for a moment. Not a bit of it. Gu remains resolute. And as we tick past the hour mark here at the Mokdong Stadium, FC Seoul's 2-goal lead remains intact. We're not too far from Seoul's normal home, the Seoul World Cup Stadium, built for the 2002 World Cup finals. We're across the Han River here in this giant world city of Seoul. 6th largest metropolitan economy in the world, in this part of the world. Population of just under 10 million, but it spreads out to Seoul, to Gyeonggi province and Incheon. There's a yellow card for Cho Young-wook. Two number 9's tangling. Babic, Lee Han-do. Well, they were 6th under Coach Kim in 2025, FC Seoul. There's no doubt about it, recent years have not been kind to this club. This could be looking up though. Couple of results here, plus the lifting of the mood that will be provided by the qualification will set them in good stead. They open their K-League campaign for 2026 in 11 days' time against Incheon United. Continuation of the J1 100-year Vision League at the weekend for Sanfrecce Hiroshima as they defend this free kick, and it's volleyed wide by Cho Young-wook. Comes against Cerezo, and right now it's looking like a pick-me-up performance is required. It could easily have been a deficit of 3 goals here. And Cho has missed the target when it seemed easier to just put his laces through it. He's tried to just guide that inside the far post. Kinoshita holds it up. It's through on goal here. It's Kinoshita, the substitute, and cuts it back. The ball is thrashed over, but this is at least a little bit better. The interplay between the replacements that Bartosz Gór has put in this second half. Kinoshita with Nakamura combining. Nakamura pulls off the shoulder of that central defender, but then lifts his attempt over the top. Okay, it was a miss, but there's a little bit more interplay and a little bit more potential for getting through by the looks of things here with this pairing in. Sota Nakamura scored 6 goals in J1 last year. Could have done well one there in AFC Champions League Elite. Is Nakano. It's at least given them a bit of a thrust, attack-wise. Sarai dispossessed. Jermaine trying to barge his way through. And Jermaine, the pass came in really sharply into his feet there, which he didn't appreciate. Scored in the J-League Cup final win late last year. Rio Jermaine beat Kashiwa Seoul in November at the Japan National Stadium. And the two scorers, Nagashi and Araki. Araki's started tonight. Ended up being replaced by Ito Yamasaki. As Bartosz Gór prepares to make another switch. No changes yet for FC Seoul. So this is Takaaki Shichi for Suga. They're returning to Sanfrecce, having spent last year out on loan to Avispa Fukuoka. Straight switch on the left. Shichi, who's 32. Four subs on the pitch now for Hiroshima. Loose that from Song Min Kyu. Babic has it. And Jong Bom to play there with Lee Seung Bo. Sumito slid in. Back with Park Seung Hoon. Babic into Jermaine. Good challenge that from Park Seung-yoon. Work it away again with Cho Young-wook. Almost the perfect counter-attack and perfect transition there. The pass for Song Min Kyu was just a little too heavy. Back with Yamasaki. Loose that from Kinoshita. Song's done well. Nicely done, Babic. Telegraph that. Yamasaki picks it off, tries to find Kinoshita. Dealt with by Lee Han-do. Kinoshita joined from Kashiwa Seoul. Shichi has it back across, just dropped over Rio Jermaine, who nevertheless gets the attempt in. It's hit on the turn by Yamasaki. Half-hearted appeals for handball somewhere in there from Sanfrecce. Appeals that were ignored. Here's Yamasaki again. And they go around the houses to build from the back. That'll be a free kick. In this meeting of nations who are ranked 1 and 2 in the all-time standings in terms of performances in finals in Asia's top club competition, AFC Champions League Elite, as it's called now. It's various incarnations down the years. Teams from Korea Republic have been in the final 19 times, delivering 12 titles, 7 runner-ups. Japanese teams have been in the final on 14 occasions, 8 wins, 6 defeats. We find the next club on the list, Saudi Arabia, 17 finals, but only the 7 wins in that time, even though they do have the individually best performing club in the history of this competition, Al Hilal. Been in 9 finals, winning 4 of them and losing 5. Pohang Steelers next up with 3 wins and a final defeat. Urawa Reds, 3 wins and a final defeat from Korea and Japan respectively. So changes forthcoming now for FC Seoul, understandably. Nakano fulfilling his defensive duties there. Kisuke Osako is currently 3rd choice really for the Japan national team. As the ball slung forward, dealt with by Choi. Park's pass shut down. Hiroshima still plugging away here for any kind of gap that would make things interesting in the last 16 minutes plus stoppages. And they've won the free kick. Rio Jermaine making a nuisance of himself as usual. From Yamasaki's pass. And here we go with the switch. So Leonardo Ruiz, who started last week in Kobe, will finish at home here in Seoul this week. That was his debut last week in that 2-0 defeat. Leonardo Ruiz, he's come from Seongnam Ilhwa elsewhere in Korea, the K2 team. It's Cho Young-wook who is relieved of his duties late on here. Patrick Klimala gets a yellow card. Now can Ruiz have more of an impact than he managed in Japan 7 days ago? Well, there's a long pass over the top, and they're a little bit stretched here, Hiroshima. It's Song Min-kyu. He tried to clip it over to Jong, and Jong Seung-won has done really well there. pass was a little heavy from Song, which undermined the momentum of that attack, really. From deep in his own half. That's the problem with committing so many bodies forward. Looking to get back into this game, Sanfrecce, but that cross just asked a little bit too much of Jeong Seung-won. But now Hiroshima are in behind and they're threatening again here. There's the overlapping pass, and it was too heavy. The ball was out of play. It's a shame there for Higashi. There's Takaki Shiichi. Tried to combine with him, the overlapping player, Higashi. First setback incoming for Bartosz Gól's Sanfrecce Hiroshima. And only time will tell in the next few weeks in J1. The decision was correct to field pretty much everyone first choice, apart from the back three today. Here comes Song Min-kyu once again for FC Seoul, looking to wrap it up. Suzuki, that was Nakamura, looking a bit disjointed there. Sanfrecce Hiroshima, FC Seoul come forward, it's Lee Seung-mo on the overlap. A little nudge through for Klimala, if he can cut it back. Oh, there's a real mess up there, and Song drives it over. Should have been 3. Well, they kept chipping away on that right-hand side. It's a flag up there. Here, Klimala just off. Then he checks back, doesn't he? He's sort of level. We'll have to freeze it and draw lines across the pitch. Well, we would have done had Song slam that into the net rather than over it. Had a good game on the left-hand side. Is Song Min-kyu. Part of the new faces that have come in from Jeonbuk Motors. FC Seoul player for the 2026 season, and won 2 titles with the Jeonbuk. Useful attacker. That's a useful little ball through. They're lining up in the middle. Kinoshita just bounced behind him, and Ruiz was there. And the cross is driven over finally. As Arai made his way forward, just gets onto that pass from shooter Nakano, drives it across in the general direction of Rio Jermaine. But FC Seoul successfully bundle it away again. And we have another change. This is Moon Seon-min, the international winger, who is a lively player. Usually plays on the left-hand side of the midfield. Just wonder if Song's going to be given a breather here. Having really put a shift in. Song Min-kyu. Yeah, looks to be limping his way to an early retirement here. This was his opportunity to get on the score sheet. He's driven it over. Yeah, he's on the pitch now. Is Moon Seon-min. 18 caps for Korea Republic for the 33-year-old. Now to Arai here with the free kick for Sanfrecce. Away from Ryo Jermaine, half away by Choi Jun there. Johnson won. Nicely done, Babic. Layoff there from Ruiz, keen for involvement. Leonardo Ruiz, the Colombian. Babic. She will tidy that up. Hiroshima will go again and look to make use of this transition. Snappy challenge there by John. Sota Nakamura. Stab out by Camera. Means FC Seoul have the free kicks driven long in towards Ruiz. Over Ruiz that time for Klimala. Then Ruiz to Patrick Klimala. Klimala again. Lucky break there. It's Klimala still going. He's touched in behind, rolled off the toes there of the Pole, Patrick Klimala. That's what they were claiming straight away. That's what they get. Klimala's never made the breakthrough for a senior international appearance for Poland. He was a prolific scorer for them at under 21 level. Arai. There's Jermaine, still going. It's Ryo Jermaine. Good challenge in the end from Park. It's Hoon, because any slip there and Jermaine would have tumbled, that would have been a penalty kick. Yeah, shoulder to shoulder there, Park. Stout defending. It was the right decision in the end to drop the Spaniard Juan Ros. Bring in Park to partner Lee Han-do. It was a shaky opening 10 minutes or so for FC Seoul tonight. But when things flattened out a bit, they took control and made the most of the defensive changes, which exposed Hiroshima's vulnerability in terms of the starting 11 that Bartosz Gol put out tonight. Forward by Jung. Arai feeds it up and over. Shoots to Nakano. Again, this is promising for Sanfrecce Hiroshima. Comes all the way across to Ryo Jermaine, who just back passes it almost to Gu Sung-yun. No cutting edge for Sanfrecce Hiroshima, and it has hurt them. Well, it's just very limp, wasn't it? I'm afraid. For a player that certainly puts a shift in and absolutely has his uses. Moteki Ohara is back with Sanfrecce Hiroshima in 2026. He was on loan at Albirix Niigata last year. He started the match last week against Fagiano Okayama in the J1 100-year Vision League. Chalks off an appearance in the AFC Champions League Elite. There's a chance for at least 2 more as well, with Hiroshima's progress guaranteed, as we know. It's only a couple of weeks till we play the last 16 in this competition. And the objective will be to get through to final stage in Saudi Arabia. Might be a bit of an injury delay here. That looked painful. Choi Jun and Rio Jermaine. And Choi Jun has come off last, to come off worst even by the looks of things. Been a nice nice tempo, not too many stoppages in this match tonight. It's moved along at a pretty pleasing lick for the neutral. So it always helps when at least one of these teams is playing for something at the end of a group stage, like we've had in AFC Champions League Elite. Jermaine is okay. Choi Jun less so. And it looks very much like he'll be forced into another change here. Late on, Kim Gi-dong, FC Seoul's coach. Choi Jun has had a very good game for the hosts. Right back. Someone's going to be waking up with a black eye tomorrow, I suspect. Okay, to see a shift out tonight by the looks of things. Babic plays it up and over. Choi being okayed for continuation. Over in Japan, Machida Zelvia heading for victory against Chengdu Rongcheng. 3-1 the score in that one. About half an hour from now, Johor Darul Tazim kick off against Vissel Kobe, and Buriram start against Shanghai Shenhua. The Chinese teams at the bottom of the table. Shanghai Port, at the bottom of the pile, can't qualify. Shanghai Shenhua, 11th of 12, can't qualify. Chengdu in the process of being eliminated. Outside chance for them, but they needed to win in Japan against Machida, but it doesn't look like that's happening. Here's Ruiz in behind and thrashes the attempt into the side netting. His only colleague up there was Moon Seon-min. Ruiz can perhaps be excused for aiming for glory there. And Machida Zelvia have overtaken Vissel Kobe with what looks like an almost certain win now. They're going to have 5 extra minutes here in Seoul. Vissel Kobe can go back to the top by winning in Malaysia a little later, and it's Sanfrecce third, despite this defeat for Bartosz Gul's team. First setback since he was installed as the new coach in Hiroshima and Melbourne City. Fourth, they play Gangwon tomorrow. FC Seoul Right now a 5th, moving up to 12 points and qualifying. Buriram United, 11 points. But they're at home against Shanghai Shenhua, so every chance they could win that one. Johor 7th, Gangwon 8th. Ruiz still there, denied a 3rd goal. Between them, Klimala and Ruiz, they couldn't force it home. Well, Klimala with his 1st goal in this competition, and Ruiz wanted a taste as well. Almost had it. He did well to do anything there and involve the goalkeeper, did to Patrick Klimala. When the ball bounced down to him, Ruiz must have thought that was his moment. So we'll see what Johor and Gangwon and Ulsan can do. They're the teams in immediate jeopardy. One of those teams will miss out. Right now it's looking like Ulsan. They play the Shanghai Port tomorrow. Hiroshima are in behind here. Rio Jermaine slides in and they get on the board in stoppages. Rio Jermaine is rewarded for a hard-working performance. They've thrown everything at FC Seoul in this 2nd half, and finally they get a goal back. It's too early to call this a consolation. Motaki Ohara was able to feed it through. The camera on the left, 1 substitute, squares to Rio Jermaine. And he gets there a whisker ahead of Kim Jin-soo. That's hunger right there from Rio Jermaine. 2-1. Well, fair play. He's run his socks off today. Now then, could this complicate things further in terms of the group table and FC Seoul's progression? Seconds tick down on the dying embers of stoppage time here. Still happen. Motaki Ohara. For Takaki Shichi. Right, again. No, 4 red and black shirts forming the wall there. Now Ruiz. Here's Moon Seon Min, tries to feed it back, 1st time there to Ruiz. Hiroshima have it back. Here's Naoto Arai and Rio Jermaine. There's the little layoff, and Jermaine flounders a little there. Arai on that loose ball. Kim Jin-soo threw his body in the way. Corner. Hiroshima finishing on a high here. Threatening to throw a spanner in the works of qualification for FC Seoul. It's a looping corner. It's the cross to the near post. Lee Han-do only halfway. Thumped into the air by Jong Seung-won. Park Seung-hun and Jong Seung-won lifts it. We're right at the limit now for FC Seoul as Sanfrecce Hiroshima push forward still. Arai sweeps it into the box. Tucking in behind there. Oh, can you believe it? The cross is swung over for Kosuke Kinoshita to make it 2-2. FC Seoul were on cruise control and heading for the last 16. Now it's all complicated. What a finish here from Sanfrecce Hiroshima. Crazy. Kinoshita, the sub, racing in to head home. All hands to the pump defensively for FC Seoul, but the ball drifted in behind for Takaki Shichi, who teased that up on a plate for Kinoshita. He can't miss. FC Seoul are left sweating. So that brings them back down to, what's that, 11 points? 10 points. And they worry again about making it through. The Brazilian striker who dropped out of the team, Anderson Oliveira, comes on for the last moments, but FC Seoul are left flat on their backs. They thought they'd done enough. They still haven't quite made it. They will wait and wonder and pray for other results to go their way before celebrating a spot in the last 16 of the AFC Champions League for the first time in a decade. 2 stoppage time goals from Sanfrecce Hiroshima, Ryo Jaman and Kensuke Kinoshita have stopped FC Seoul in their tracks. Crazy, crazy finish here. It's finished 2-2.
Presented by Saudi Tourism Authority, going to number